Welcome to the Glow Through It podcast. I'm Adriana, the CEO and founder of Little Words Project.
And I'm Mariah, Little Words Project's first employee turned director of VIP relations and Adriana's real-life hype woman and BFF.
We created Glow Through It to bring you inspiration from our everyday lives. Whether you're building your own businesses, families, or love stories, we're here to remind you that you can glow through anything.
Catch us every Thursday for new episodes. Watch us on Spotify or YouTube, or catch the audio on Apple Podcasts.
All right, let's glow through it.
Okay. Let's get it started. Ha! Let's get it started in here. All right.
Let's get it started. Ha! Let's get it started in here.
Today's sponsored, instead of my water bottle, sponsored by Starbucks.
Aha.
I'm just kidding. And Adriana and I are sharing a coffee.
We are sharing this coffee.
I would have brought you one. I just figured I was coming in with a 2 o'clock coffee. I was like, there's nobody needs this.
No, I didn't want it, but I wanted it because
how's it now?
When I see it, I want it. Do you ask them for this small ice?
No, it's new. It's new to Starbucks. And if your Starbucks doesn't have it yet, it's on its way. They're getting
small
the Chick-fil-A ice. Everyone is.
It's genius.
It's so much better.
It's
Look
so
at this
smart.
ice. Look at it. Look at that.
That's what made me want it.
Collection
of
colors
balls
and shapes is all I need.
No colors.
1 brown, 1 tan.
Some shape.
All right.
Some shape. Okay. All right. We have a big show today.
What? It's the big show.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Anytime you talk about like the Super Bowl or any like thing that you're not allowed to use
say
the
big
name
game.
of, you have to say the big game, the big show. Oh, who's the brand that's trying to have us say the big show right now? Oh, we're working with GovBall and like all these other festivals.
And they want you to say the big show.
Well, you could say the festival names for like Lollapalooza and Bonnaroo. By the way, if you care about any of those, we're going to be working with them, which is very cool. We're going to be in person at Lollapalooza inside of the merch booth. The only other brand there that you can come in and like activate with our brand at Lollapalooza, really cool. Which is in the middle of Chicago. We have a store in Chicago. It's very cool. But GovBall, they're like really, really like restrictive on their logo and you can't say it. So we have to say like the big show. I'm like, all right. It's GovBall. What are we talking about? Anyway.
No, but it also is the big show.
Yeah. Welcome to the big show, everybody.
Yeah. So with that, let's get it started. South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Recap.
You recap. You were the superstar.
Beep bop bopping.
Yeah.
I wasn't a superstar.
Panel girl.
I actually felt like
Go ahead, tell them the truth. Tell them the truth.
The truth is,
use the word.
I felt like a D-list founder.
And a schmuck. You guys use the word schmuck out there because
it's Yiddish and it's
actual.
Like. Or maybe it's not Yiddish. My dad uses it a lot.
My dad uses it too. It's such an Italian.
Can you look up if schmuck is Yiddish?
Word. I don't even know how to
spell it.
It's
not a bad word. Oh, a dad word. Yeah, it's an Italian dad word.
Yeah.
No, I'm a schmuck. But anyway, I go to these things and I like.
Well, explain what South by Southwest is, just in case somebody doesn't know.
South by Southwest is a film and it's a film festival, but they have a lot of ancillary things. It's become a much bigger ordeal where you have different publications and media outlets that set up like houses and people come and they learn like the latest and greatest of what's going on in tech and consumer and entrepreneur world, and there's so many different tracks. And so we bought a ticket to the main festival because we knew we were going to be working at South by with our partner, The List, which is Anne Choquette's company, Anne Choquette being the former editor-in-chief of 17 magazine and just like a major powerhouse in the magazine world, which as a young woman who loved, I was an English major and I was almost a magazine writing minor, and that was my goal. I wanted to work in that world. So I have always looked up to her. So anyway, fast forward, we're now working with her on her 10 Minutes to Togetherness initiative, which is all about connecting people in real life. So I'm very excited because it's very, what she's doing and how she's showing up across the country is very aligned with what we do. And the research she has done is completely supported everything that A Little Word is, which is a vehicle for connection. So to that end, it was very exciting to get to work with her at South by. Mm. That said, while being at South by, the thought was, okay, how many more things can I do? How many more panels can I show up on? How many more rooms can I be in to continue to spread our message, but also the message of 10 Minutes to Togetherness? So that whole preamble is simply to
what South by is
lay
and
the
what
groundwork
we were doing there.
For the fact that I am a schmuck, which is Yiddish.
Nice.
All the best words.
Well, okay. You're not a schmuck, but
I got on some of these panels and I'm glad. A lot of the panels I got on, Two. One was the female quotient, which I think it was a good one. It did have to do with like keeping your family name versus changing it, and I felt not uncomfortable, but I felt like I wasn't the right fit for that because I did change my name, and it felt like the counter argument to like the feminist thing. However, I think the ultimate point and what I ended up feeling good about in order to speak, but also after we spoke, I thought the point was driven home that like it's a very personal choice.
Yep.
And the point is that it should be a choice and that you should have the right to like decide for yourself and hopefully with the support of your partner what you want your name to be. And it shouldn't just be this expected thing.
Yeah. I was almost thinking right after you spoke, sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
That was bad.
No.
I'm sorry that I did that.
It's a conversation.
I know, but I ended it too short.
No, it's good. It's a good
way. I did it wrong.
Well, you apologizing is what's
worse,
wrong.
Worse.
And then you haven't gone back yet.
Okay. All right. What I was trying to say is
after you
spoke, I was thinking a lot about that entire conversation. I was thinking to myself, I know in the moment this was random, but recently you've been preaching a bit more, and it feels like this is your next phase of your stance of like your body, your choice, your woman, your choice. You are you choose what you want. You are that way as a mom.
Yes.
You are that way with schooling. You are very much that way. So as it was happening, I was like, oh God, is this going to be a little random for her? It doesn't have to do with kindness. It doesn't have to do with her story. But it did, in that your angle is that the woman's right to choose.
Yes.
And that could be a platform for you to speak on future things that don't exactly pertain to little words and kindness and being a founder.
I think the point of what you're saying, it's not about what you choose and what the end result is.
Right.
It's about you retaining and feeling empowered to choose
and
as
to
a woman. Be allowed to choose.
Yes, and you
as
give
a woman,
people that voice.
As a person too. Like I think everybody should have the right to make decisions for themselves, and especially when it comes to their personhood, their body, their names, their what anything that has to do with their fucking body and their physical being and their consciousness,
existence
should be their decision,
like
nobody else's.
Yes, and I think that panel gave you
that outlet.
It gave you your first time
and I think
at that.
The point is that because I kept my name, the point is that I chose to do that, and I explained in the at the panel that it had a lot to do with the fact that Instagram.
No, you didn't keep your name. You changed your name.
Oh, I said changed my name. I kept my name. Oh yeah. I changed my name.
She is not Adriana Body. Everybody knows that, right?
Sorry, that's what I meant because I changed my name.
I want to change mine so bad. I want to change my name so bad.
See, I might argue that you shouldn't.
No. I have to.
No, I might argue that you shouldn't. You
really?
are a Grippo. Now, the good news is that Jonas's last name is Griffith.
It's so similar to my name.
So it's similar and cool, but for that reason...
I'm still MG.
You're still MG. But for that reason, he's like, you might as well just
Bill is the only person on earth who really calls me MG.
He needs to call you MG.
Has to call me MG. If I became MF...
Who's F?
Just I thought of a random, like, I don't know, food.
Food? You're going to... Food? That's the first F word that came to your mind? Mariah, food?
She's so damn hungry all the time. But like anyway, yes, I am going to marry my man. So yes, it's still going to be MG. Anyway, go ahead.
Wait, I just really quickly, before we continue talking about anything, is establish why I'm in this outfit. I didn't call it out.
Adriana, you've worn this outfit
all the time, every day.
Every time we've ever recorded. It's
but never on screen, dummy.
Never?
There's the first dummy of the season.
First dummy of 2024. Wait, what?
I have not worn this
than anyone on earth. You gave birth in this. In fact, how are you still wearing this?
I gave birth.
This is disgusting.
First of all, I gave birth
in this outfit.
Bitch, I gave birth in the blue one. I gave birth in the blue one.
Okay? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I know I wasn't there, but I was there.
Imagine you thinking that I don't know what I gave birth in. Of course, I gave birth in the blue one. Shut up. I can't get anything out. Like, I can't get anything out. Shut up. Not the wrestle. She jumps in like a child. I just want to slap you. And I wonder why Ford is the way he is. I'm keeping this.
Ford doesn't slap me.
I'm taking this. What movie? Liar, liar. We didn't even finish saying why I'm a schmuck. Number one.
yeah.
Second thing we didn't finish saying.
True.
Yeah. Second thing we didn't finish saying is, I'm sorry I'm wearing this outfit. It's all I could do today because I had a travel day from hell, and this is what I could do today. And then I got coffee on it after the fact. So I didn't put coffee stain on. I just got coffee on it after the fact.
I want to write travel day from hell because I don't want to forget to talk about that because I'm actually curious about the travel day. I know we're not going to get through a lot today, guys. Look.
But Mariah, you don't have to say what you're writing down on your notes. That's the point of the fucking note. You don't have to say the thing.
Oh.
Let the bitch finish speaking.
Oh.
Let the person finish speaking.
What I wrote is travel day from hell. Go ahead.
So you know what Mariah is? Mariah is a person that when you put a camera on her face and when you put her in front of an audience, similar to Bill, they turn it on a little differently.
Yeah.
It's a little different. So what she's doing is clowning for you. Yeah, exactly this. This is like, it's like...
Go.
And she's the cooler one.
Go ahead.
Okay, so...
I was about to say, schmuck and I couldn't think of it. It didn't come out fast.
So then tell us all how you didn't nail the joke, please. Start from the top. Tell us again. What were you about to say that was going to be funny, but you didn't say it, and it was never happened, but you're going to waste our time listening to it.
I'm going to write schmuck in the notes.
Yeah, write schmuck in the notes. That's actually a good idea. That's a good use of your note card.
Go ahead. Why are you a schmuck?
First of all, I'm sorry for the outfit. Secondly, I am a schmuck because I'm on these panels and I'm in these rooms and people still just want to talk about Taylor Swift, but not in an awful way, but in a like, it's such a belittling, accidentally belittling way. And it's just like, oh my God, I took my son to the Taylor Swift concert and all we did was make like 50 bracelets right before and it was so much fun and da-da-da. And I think that's great. And I do like that energy of people like associating us with this very powerful person.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. And she's a very good representation of kindness in our brand from what I know of her. Again, none of us know this woman actually.
Yeah, we're not friends with her. We don't know.
Right. We don't talk to her.
She seems nice. I don't know.
Exactly. But the way I think if she didn't exist, we would still find ourselves in these rooms at these tables without all the fanfare about it being a Taylor thing. And we might still be considered schmucks because it's still just a, quote, friendship bracelet. But I think the aura that has come as a result of the Taylor thing of it being like this kiddie, girly friendship bracelet at a concert thing can definitely affect someone's perception of our product more so. It's almost like okay, this whole time we have been walking uphill.
Ooh.
We have been walking uphill the
and
whole
I am
time.
slow.
And you're slow
uphill.
And we're sweating and it is hard. And then the Taylor thing happened. And in a sense,
your shoes fall off.
Things are maybe, but things are shaking up in a good way. So it's not as good of an example.
There's a volcano and your shoes fall off.
Maybe not a volcano. I was thinking like rocks falling, and now you're just having to walk around the rocks a little bit.
Okay.
But that's not the perfect analogy. So we have to think of something because it has actually uplifted us in a way. In this, like the category has more eyeballs on it.
Yep.
But people are so much more volatile in their opinions, and you're getting so many more opinions so much quicker.
Yes.
And it's less of a slower grind, and I kind of like the slow grind.
Is it fair to say also that men
specifically
have a really interesting flow of it when they start talking to us about the bracelet?
Yes.
Men are like, oh yeah, my daughter's an Taylor Swift is her favorite person in the world. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like they really want to connect on the Taylor. Maybe it is men. Maybe it's men.
I mean, it's men. And I think we saw that at that second panel.
But I've also seen it in women too. And they're not saying, in men it feels a little more belittling, and they're just also just trying to find something to connect with you on. And so like, please do me a favor and don't just try to connect with someone on Taylor Swift just because it's like something you think you know. Instead, like, ask the person what their brand is about and what they're doing and understand that like they existed before Taylor Swift and they probably don't want to hear that anymore, you know, in a way.
Or
like
if you're on a panel
when you're in
as a
rooms,
founder.
when you're in business circles too, right? And now, if you're a reporter and you're asking because it is like what you have to ask and it makes sense to ask, then please ask. And I will tell. I have no qualms about it. I really don't. But when it starts to feel like they doubled down on it 3, 4, 5 times. It's kind of like,
I can't stop thinking about that second panel.
Okay, so like this,
it was good. You were good. Okay, hold on.
So that's one way I'm a schmuck. The other way I'm a schmuck is the panels that I'm on, or this second panel that we were on. I was a last minute throw in.
We enter a saloon. Dark. Okay? Dark. Like you ever seen what's that movie? What's that show that everybody watches where like they go back in time? You loved it.
The Remnant?
No, and then there's a saloon time period, and then there's a whatever, but then there's an alien time period. Whatever. Anyway, think Back to the Future, the third movie.
Called? No, not Back to the Future. What's it called?
Either one.
The one on HBO.
With the aliens, and then they go.
Not aliens. The one on HBO. Robots. They go back in time. Oh,
you love that.
You mean the new zombie one?
No.
Then it's the one with the robots.
Then there's also country music.
And they go into the back.
We're both looking at
Evan
Kelly.
Rachel Wood.
Kelly's like, what?
Bro, okay. Everyone who got it already, Google it. But
we're sorry we can't think of it. Our brains don't exist. We're running on low sleep.
No,
Adriana had to fly with children. I had to not have a plane. Okay. We walk into a saloon. Men everywhere. Tacos wrapped in aluminum. Adriana's starving. Okay?
It's a haiku.
It's me.
Tacos wrapped in aluminum. Adriana starving.
Men circulating the walls. Okay. Place is packed. You guys ever been to the most crowded bar you've ever been to? Full of men only, no women? That is the room. So you walk in. Adriana's in a blue Proenza gown. Okay? Cinderella style. We walk into the saloon. We walk directly to the tacos. We get screamed at by the taco woman.
Not gown.
She literally was like, you can't eat these right now. Adriana's like, well, I'm starving. We're all like, she needs to eat before she goes on this panel. Okay. So now we've been screamed at. There's men everywhere. Her Proenza gown's being stepped on. The room is dark because it's a saloon. Everyone's drinking beers, and it's very loud in there. I was like, well, I hope this room quiets down for this panel, because how on earth is there going to be a panel inside of a saloon? I'm just trying to figure this out. Yeah. So anyway, we all sit down. There is a separation. There's a bar, and then in front of it lies like
there's
20
a little
chairs.
section of chairs.
There's chairs. So I'm like, okay, this will quiet down. Fast forward, Adriana starts the panel. It's her and a man on the panel. There's actually not a panel. It's just a Q&A.
It's a fireside. It's a fireside chat.
And as this fireside starts chatting, the room keeps chatting. Okay, so all I hear as a person who's very
auditory sensory issues, auditory processing issues
are blowing up. My brain is like on fire. I hear Adriana answering questions, doing her very best, but fighting to beat the noise, because the room was so loud with men getting beers and talking.
Yeah. Which, look, these ancillary houses at South by, that's what they do.
Yeah.
You go, it's like saloon style. Like, that is actually what it is supposed to be.
It's in the middle of Austin. I get why it was
middle
a saloon,
of Austin.
but come on,
People are drinking, whatever. But I think the way
then I got up and screamed at everybody, basically, is what happened.
Basically, she gets up because she couldn't deal with it anymore, and she's going, shh.
And
walking around like this.
I said, shh. And then I get in the middle, in the back. You didn't see me. I get in the middle of the back, and I was like, do you not see that there is a panel happening?
No, you didn't.
On everything. On God. Do you not see that there is a panel happening?
Didn't.
Yes.
Mariah.
I had to.
Bro.
I had to. It was all men. I don't care.
Mariah, but you do have to care.
No.
You can't. I didn't know you did that.
I said, do you not see that there's a panel happening?
Okay, but that's not nice.
I don't care.
But you're a nice girl.
Pissed.
You are representative.
No, they need to be nice.
This is the problem.
Loud fools need to listen. There's a founder at the top of the room.
And that's why I'm a schmuck.
And that's why she's a schmuck. Because every single one of the men in the room didn't stop sipping on their Coors Lights.
Most of the women did, though. People did come over and sit down. But and there were some guys sitting.
The men weren't paying attention until
not
she...
all the men.
I was pissed. I'm going to get pissed again. You guys should have heard how loud it was. I wish I recorded it. I really did.
Okay, well, go forward. Room for opportunity, area for improvement, opportunity. Please.
They were quiet for 10 minutes after that.
Not. Because half the battle is being a schmuck, but showing up anyway. And every once in a while, I chip away at the people who do listen. At the people. That's why I always feel like I have to drop Bootstrap to 20 million. Because when I drop that, all of a sudden I'm paid attention to. Otherwise, the room quiets down.
And they got quiet right when she used the word Bootstrap.
Right when I used the right when I said 20 million, everyone was like,
"Oh, now you'll listen."
And in fact, the guy who interviewed me, and I don't think he meant it in any sort of way, but this is again another way in which I am a schmuck, is that the guy who was interviewing me goes, "Yeah, so wait, now is this like really the Taylor Swift bracelet?" And I was like, okay, it's not the Taylor Swift bracelet, but it was the bracelet that Lance Baskey, Taylor Swift, on the VMA stage. Like, I say the thing. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's what I was saying to one of my guys. And they were like, bullshit, like that. He said that to me. And I'm like,
imagine saying that to the founder and your current panelist.
The person you're about to interview.
person in
Now,
the Q&A.
this guy was very nice.
He was nice.
I think that I'm very grateful that he had me on. Like his wife was so nice, his mother-in-law, his daughter. Like it was very, very cute family, and like I really am glad. And he didn't mean anything by it, and I think that's the point of all this. Is like what you really have to feel is okay with the fact that like people are gonna play you left and right when you're in business and you're a founder. And like I've maybe played other people in my own sense of like not giving them the time and not the time, but not. Never mind. I never fucking played anybody. I've never played anyone.
I was about to say,
I've never
world?
had a founder
How?
or person walk up to me and give me anything that has led me to play them. Or has led me to make them think that I don't take their business seriously. So I'm going to own that because I know there are times in my life where I am sure that I have unintentionally made someone feel some type of way about something, but never a female entrepreneur about her business journey. I really believe that in my heart of hearts.
Yes.
If anything, I actually go even further and validate and compliment and try to support however I possibly can.
Yes.
And the problem is I don't experience that on the flip side. And so I'm having to maintain this energy of filling other people's cups. But what I usually experience when I pour myself into others or tell my story is I have to fight for it in every room I go into. And I have to kind of like okay, then there's another situation, which I won't even say where, who, or when, but I went to a blank, and at this blank was a reporter from a reputable business magazine.
Was I there?
No. It was the night of the, yeah. And it was a really cool experience. And I had a conversation with a reporter, and another really important person, I would say, in that conversation, and another important founder. And I say what I'm doing, and I kind of go to pitch the concept to work with this other brand. And this woman was like, oh, that's like Plur. Do you remember Plur? Mm-hmm. The candy? Mm-hmm. She's like, that's candy. That's like Plur. And I'm like I can't believe
called your ass a thief.
I'm about to have this conversation about Plur, because usually it's about Taylor, but now it's going to be about Plur.
I haven't heard Plur.
As I'm trying to talk to this founder and trying to like, so it was the most frustrating moment.
That must have felt
but
insane.
it's a reporter in a room,
sorry.
and she's not trying to be rude. She's just trying to chit chat.
I know.
Founders have different energy. We know that everyone is trying to close a deal. Everyone is trying to build a relationship.
Especially at South by Southwest.
Exactly.
You're meeting founder after founder.
Yes. Everyone's trying to whatever. And maybe in many ways, so are the reporters. They're all trying to get the scoop. They're all trying to say the thing. They're all trying to get the person to say the comment. You know what I mean? And fair. But it's recognizing the situation that she accidentally put me in that moment. And afterwards, I will say she did recognize it, because as we were leaving, she stopped me and said, by the way, like, you have an excellent pitch. Like, you have an excellent brand. Like, good for you. Like, was very nice. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad you felt that way, because I really felt like you were kind of like, it was like not into it. And she was like, no, I think it's awesome. I really love it. Like, it just, it reminds me of Plur, but like in the best way. So it was fine. But in that moment, I'm like, oh my God, I now have to fight this uphill battle about Plur. And she doubled down like 3-4 times, explaining what Plur was. I'm explaining the brand. She's explaining what Plur is. She goes as far to do the hand thing with this founder man. And she hadn't even met him yet. So it was like her first interaction with him as well. And she was like, also nice to meet you. And I was just like, oh my God, this is like, this is it. Situation, this is the moment where it happens. And also like this founder had been given a bracelet earlier in the day. I saw him receive it. I saw him put it on. It was a cool thing. And then like at night, I see him and it was actually really funny. Okay, the person is the founder of Hinge. I'll just go ahead and say that. Hinge, Justin.
The literal dating app.
Very nice guy, like truly. And he whips out, and it was funny because
I don't even want to know. I'm scared. What happened?
He just had it in his pocket. So he whipped it back out.
Oh, he took it off and put it back on?
He took it off, and I roasted him a little bit for it. It was a cool moment, and that I could bounce back from that. I was like, oh no, for sure. That's where it goes. That's where it goes. Right in that pocket.
Saw that thing in your pocket.
Saw that. He's laughing, and we were fine about it. Whatever. Then the Plur conversation happens. Then later at the end of the night, I give him another bracelet at some point in the time. What? I go to leave, and I go to say bye to him, and I made a comment like, hopefully next time I see you, you're in your bracelet. And I realized he had them both in his pocket. So I go, My schmuck radar is like fucking through the roof. I feel so stupid. And I'm like, yeah, we'll work together. You know, we'll talk more.
Hope you like it.
But he cracked up. It was a funny moment.
Holy
I'm okay
shit.
with it.
Age, that's so funny.
It was a funny moment.
Oh
I think
my
it's hysterical.
God, I
It's
can't
all the
believe it.
more reason, though.
I can't believe it.
But it was so iconic.
Why did you take them all so
I go,
many times
you
in the same
really,
day?
I literally said, I was like,
Same
you are,
dinner?
I'm like, you are, in the same dinner. I'm like, you are committed to playing me. Like, you are committed to playing me. So, like, it's all good.
hates
And
it.
he was cracking
Get
up.
off my wrist right now.
No, and then I'm like,
off.
I know why though, because it was the togetherness bracelet that has the additional charm element, and so it's a little feminine, like it's a little charmy, and he was like not really
so
about
manly.
it. No,
What? I can't believe it.
so he was just like not really about it, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
understandably. So what I'm gonna do, and I said, all right, fine. I'm gonna make you a style that you are going, and he's like, yeah, I like silver. I was like, all right. So I'm like, I'm gonna make you a style, and it's never gonna come off your wrist now. So like we have like it's our bit now.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Which is, you know, I can whatever you bounce back.
yeah.
But it was just so
Wow,
iconic.
that's funny.
And on the heels of the flirt thing, and I'm just like this little like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah, yeah.
god.
Little
And then
bracelet
I spent most of the conversation talking to a woman from Forbes, but she like writes for AI, like not adjacent to us, and we spent like most of the conversation talking about like where in San Francisco we should have our store because she's like a San Francisco girl. So that was nice, but I'm just like.
Him taking it off twice. That's insane.
Something I will say about Hinge is like a
Hilarious.
really positive outcome of this, though, is that I got to know their head of people and their head of comms, and they're these two incredible, like, powerful Black women, and I cannot wait to just like talk to them.
Yeah, and learn from them.
I just can't wait to learn from them. They have got so much. They're doing something right there because everybody who went around that room said what you see is really what you get with Hinge, and it's also just like a really great culture, and I love that. And like everyone said it individually, and I think that that's what we're working on and building and trying to. And a lot of people would say the same. Yeah. But it's something I'm really like conscientious
really
about and wanting to build on. So I'm very excited to have just the connections with their team from the purpose of like a coaching, and they were so willing to like just meet with me and talk. And so anyway, more to come from that. So the point is like, look, you're not going to be super well respected in every room you walk into. Most people won't even look at you twice. Yeah. You will have to likely drop your numbers, some of your num-nums.
Not num-nums.
Num-nums or numbies, as Bill and I like to refer to them. You'll have to drop a numbie here and there so that people will give you the time of day. But when you do,
I love dropping a numbie.
drop
here
a
and
little
there.
numbie on their head.
Yeah.
Drop a numbie on their head,
Yeah.
and you never know what'll come. And that's okay. And like, you know, you draw the line at certain numbies. You know, you don't tell them everything, but you give your little credibility in the room in this delicate, dancey way, and have the conversation you need to have. Don't let someone's question of you or seemingly negative perspective of you, right? Keep you from continuing to show up. Like, have your moment. My moment, I went to the bathroom and I laughed to myself. I'm peeing and I'm just like, this is fucking iconic. And I was like, it's just iconic.
It's funny.
That I am having to explain Plur in this room with these people next to this founder of this billion-dollar business. And I am explaining the Plur thing again. And the fact that I had nothing to do with it, I did not understand, I had no idea. It had nothing to do with this brand at all. And yet I'm still explaining it. And it's just, some things like, you know, move an inch and some will go a mile and some will go back. And you just have to.
God, that's funny.
Keep going.
I'm sorry he didn't put the bracelets on and then took them off, put them in the wrist. I can't believe it.
He took those bracelets off
Put them
so
in the pocket.
fast.
When a man puts a bracelet in the pocket, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's an insane visual.
It's an insane visual. No, but it makes sense. Like, not everybody's gonna wear it.
I get it.
And also he's like the belle of that ball. Like, so he is gonna be in
maybe he was, like,
photos, and he's probably not trying to have like this representation. And look, he's a big dude. Like, he's an important person in the tech world. He really is.
No, and he is. And it's not a woman. I think if a woman did that, I'd be even more offended because I get it. If it's dangly, a guy might be like, eh. But like when I met
what
Sydney,
we've learned is that Mariah takes things personally. So
I really do.
When
When
Mariah,
I met Sydney Sweeney, when I put those bracelets on her wrist, I looked at pictures for the rest of the day, assuming she was going to have them on. And if she didn't, I would have been pissed.
No, but you can't.
But she has a stylist and jewelry. It's not right.
Yeah, you can't be pissed.
I know, but I know.
But you
that
need to know.
I changed her so much that she had to keep them on.
Okay, but you have
So
to.
if she took them
okay,
off,
but
I would've
how
been
much of
mad.
that is your ego?
Oh, the whole thing.
So then you got to work on that because
I
ego
want
is the
people to
enemy.
love it as much as I do. And if you take it off, then I'm mad at you and we're in a fight. I know it's not realistic. I would have been in a fight with the Hinge guy too.
Do you think we can coach? Can I coach this out of you, or is this just the way you are?
No, Sydney Sweeney kept them on because I'm right in my theory. She loved them. She kept them on.
When someone takes something off, it's not because they want to play you intentionally.
Yeah, you want to know who I met that took them right off?
Who?
Well, okay, I don't know if she took them off.
Usher?
No, Usher like low-key kept them on. We saw later in the night when he went like roller skating, we like saw a glimpse at them kind of. Well, I mean, okay, maybe it wasn't them.
You ever heard someone make something up before? You ever heard someone invent something on the spot?
Y'all ever heard a lie? No, I'm telling the fucking truth. I just don't know for sure.
Okay,
I felt it. Bobbi Althoff. Am I pronouncing
She
her
took them
last name
off?
right? Well, I saw her in a posting in an Uber later in the day, same outfit, and somebody was holding the camera and she was talking. I couldn't fully see her right arm, and that's the wrist I put them on. So they could have been still on. But
wow, it really affects you. But
yeah,
I guess I
wanted her to keep them
understand
on.
why, because the whole purpose of them is to wear them, and so when someone takes them off, they're dismissing it as its purpose, as its concept, as its look, as its feel.
Yeah, and I just like
if someone decides that it's not worthy of their wrist,
I get sad.
It's
like
offensive
I'm like,
to
bro,
you.
Come on.
It's not as offensive to me anymore, only because like I would then just not exist. You know, like if I allowed every offense
because it's just
to
too
just
many.
beat me down,
I get that.
I wouldn't exist.
I get that.
And so in many ways, this is the kind of like wall I've built for myself since like my bullying stage in life, that like I just
and I don't build the
can't.
same wall.
You haven't
I'm
built
like,
that
when
wall
I meet
nearly
the
as
person,
much.
You're keeping these on, and you're not.
Can I have a
taking them
pen?
off.
I have an idea of something I want to talk about that I'm not going to say out loud.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Well, what? So you're just so different than me. I say my ideas out loud, and you keep them hidden in your tent.
It's exactly what I'm trying to say. I am better.
Look at this. Look how cute this is. Kelly made us cards. Yep. We're official.
Okay, so
wait, I want to talch about my South by really quick experience.
But really quickly
fast.
though.
Oh, we're over South by?
No, we're not over South by, but I was supposed to be on this.
All right, well, while Adriana's figuring out what calls she's currently missing, I want to say really quick that when I did meet Bobbi Althoff, she was on a panel with someone from L'Oreal and two really important people at L'Oreal and CeraVe. We've worked with both brands a lot, and I was like really energized by the conversation. They were talking about, I don't know if anybody saw this. I didn't actually watch the Super Bowl because I didn't have cable. So when I logged into my brother's cable to watch the Super Bowl, the only one that was showing up was the Nickelodeon version. So I had to watch SpongeBob and Patrick the night of the Super Bowl, telling me all
that's
about
kind
it.
of fun, though.
And it's really funny, but I didn't get all the same commercials. I didn't get the
Where
Super
are
Bowl
you
commercials.
going with this?
Where I'm going is, give me a second. Damn, this isn't even that long. This isn't even that long. That was appropriate. I was watching the Super Bowl and I missed the Michael Cera commercial, which was when he was talking about I'm the founder of CeraVe. It was like this major joke. And it was not a joke. This was their campaign. CeraVe and Michael Cera had a campaign together. It was a 3-prong approach, starting with this Bobbi girl who's like now a well-known interviewer and podcaster who interviews celebrities of all kinds. Interviewed Michael Cera and said, "Are you the founder of CeraVe?" Ha ha, he he. He laughed. CeraVe jumped on it. They made a Super Bowl commercial out of this guy. And it was like this 3-prong. Start with Bobbi on the interview. We accidentally say this thing. CeraVe jumps on it. They absolutely loved it. They thought this was hilarious. We bring Michael Cera in. Now we're working with Bobbi and Michael Cera. He makes a Super Bowl campaign. And CeraVe has a celebrity attachment, which they've never had before. I thought it was
genius.
So freaking funny and genius. And yeah, CeraVe, Michael Cera, it's so perfect. And I like want to buy CeraVe now a little bit more because I'm like, I freaking love Michael Cera. The marketing behind it was so cool. So to hear that conversation as a person who's working with our celebrities and who's thinking of ways for little words to like really sit next to a big name at some point, you know, like it just was a very inspiring conversation. So in that, I always want to like make my presence known in the room because I want to talk to them at the end and I want them to like know that I'm there. And it's a big ballroom of
Did you ask
people.
questions?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was first in line. They were like, "Do you have any questions?" They put a mic in the middle of the room. Some of the panels.
Oh God, what did you ask?
Did you see any actual South by panels? Did you go into
Some
No,
of
you
the, I
didn't.
did. I saw Anne's.
But you had a pass?
Yeah, I had a day pass for that
Interesting.
one.
Okay. So they sometimes allow you to ask questions in these panels. Anyway, it was a simple question. I was like, "Hi, my name is Mariah, and I am here representing a brand called Little Words Project. Let me tell you a little about it."
No, you didn't.
I dove into the pitch. No. I dove right into the pitch. It was Bobbi Althoff. It's the people at L'Oreal. We're working with them. No, I did a whole pitch. And the room was like, oh yeah, we love little words. Like you could hear them. Right when I said I'm here with Little Words Project, you heard gasps throughout the room. Oh, little words. Oh, yeah. Oh,
No way.
Yes.
That's
I
cool.
wear those.
See,
I love
now
those.
how come every time you're in a room, you're not a schmuck? And every time I'm in a room, I'm a schmuck?
I don't know.
Why are you in all the rooms where we're not schmucks?
I don't know. And I kept it short because I don't have a lot of
stains
time,
on
and I
it.
had already talked about the damn pitch for so long that I like finally asked my question, which was just like, what makes you like? When do you feel ready as a brand to invest in a celebrity in that way, like a Super Bowl commercial? That is an investment, a
What'd they
financial
say?
investment. And they said, you just because I said we're on our way there. We had that VMAs moment, and we're like, wow, is this our time to invest in a celebrity face? And they were like, yeah, I mean, you just have to take the risk. But what you have to do, and this really got me, what you have to do before just diving into a celebrity is drop the breadcrumbs to your finance team for like a year prior about that person. Make sure that your finance guy who makes all the calls trusts that person beyond just the, hey, we need $100,000 for X person.
That's a good piece of
Drop
advice.
the breadcrumbs. And I
L'Oreal said this?
You know what? It was a CeraVe guy, actually. But yeah, they're both L'Oreal. But yes,
Cool.
him. And he said, drop the breadcrumbs. And I said, that's so freaking true. Because I'm thinking in my case, right?
Wait, did you say that out loud?
No.
Oh, thank God.
What? That's so freaking cool?
No, just that. Like, did you continue to go on?
Oh, God,
I'm
no.
envisioning a world
No.
where this whole thing becomes a little fireside chat with Mariah and the CeraVe guy.
I only joked at the end. I was like, so we should do a Super Bowl commercial? Huh? You think we're ready? And he's like, no, I really think you guys should do it. The VMAs moment was awesome. You guys, you need a Super Bowl commercial. I walked away. I was like, all right, cool. Thank you. It was funny.
Cool.
But
so she makes the brand relevant in the room. That was very cool. Good
but
for you.
in my moment, in that moment, I was like, wow, it's so true. Let's just use Sydney Sweeney as the example, right? Let's say next year we want to work with Sydney Sweeney. The more that I tell Bill and Brian that she posted, that she did this, that we got some sales that day, that I met her at this event, the breadcrumbs.
Well, the more you can also drop the breadcrumbs to her and have it's not just the finance team. It's also getting her
to that
warm
person.
and seeing her do some things here and there that we can leverage and how the community responds to it. Like we have to be dropping the breadcrumbs across the business.
On social,
and if
do our followers like it? Are they interested? Do they say, well, we love her, or now we never heard of her? Whatever it is. I loved his tidbit. I was like, oh,
That's
a good
so smart
word of wisdom.
And it's a good piece of advice for anyone who's also like listening that is looking for this to be like beneficial to their lives in any way.
Yeah. Or ask the question. How about that?
Ask the question, but also I also think it's recognizing when it makes sense to invest what you've earned back into the business in a unique way that can drive it forward tenfold. But you have to be able to jump on those things and be nimble. And
they jumped on this Super Bowl moment so fast.
It's so smart.
And they said that the Super Bowl commercial, and she was very, very, very transparent about this. 2 days prior, the NFL was not approving certain parts of the commercial. And they had already people on a plane heading to the Super Bowl. And they had to make edits and cuts in the commercial.
Wait, what happened? They couldn't put what in the commercial?
2 days prior, and L'Oreal was very transparent about this, 2 days prior to launching the Super Bowl commercial at the Super Bowl, the NFL had edits that they couldn't post. So in the commercial, they had to like block out something or whatever and say, watch the rest of this on YouTube. They had to think about how much they invested into that 2 days prior.
Oh
L'Oreal.
my God. That is
L'Oreal.
awful.
Yep. And they said it got 8x the amount of views they thought it would get on YouTube.
That's wild.
So they got lucky. But it was such a good conversation to listen to in my world. I just was like really, really, I felt energized by it. And I think that standing up, asking a question, getting your brand out in the room, 5 people ask questions.
Yeah.
Why not me? Yes, maybe I mumble, but I do pull it together.
What do you mean maybe I mumble? Where did that come from?
No, I mumble. I'm not mumble, ramble. I don't know why I said mumble,
Oh
girl.
my God.
One thing I'm not going to do is mumble. Okay? I'm going to clearly talk for 10 minutes.
Okay, wait. Speaking of,
I just spit
this
everywhere.
wall episode is about South by.
Hold on. I have such an itchy nose today.
Oh,
Remember
you
did
have
last
the
time?
itchy nose now.
You think the dusters are in here?
Maybe there's dust in here. Okay.
All right. Well, maybe this is just an episode about
South by Southwest?
Southwest, because honestly, like, we really had
How
a
long
really
have we
cool
been
weekend.
going?
I have another thing I want to talk about, too.
What is it?
I saw Jay Shetty speak, and I know that Jay Shetty's a little bit underwater right now, on fire.
Is
a little under fire. Yeah, I've
Why?
only been seeing it recently.
Underwater and on fire?
Underwater, on fire, under the mountain, and inside of the forest. But that man is underneath something. And I don't exactly know why. I'd love for someone to reach out to me and tell me why, because I've been doing the research, and I just think people want to tear down celebrities. But people are saying that he like doesn't have an authentic like degree in like what he does to be a psychologist and to be preaching the way he does. But
who cares? Does he not make a difference in your life? If he makes a difference to you, who cares?
And
half of you think we're your therapist.
But there's something that about maybe when he like went back to that he said he's from an area in India that he's like not actually from. I don't know.
Okay.
There's an interesting something. I need
well,
to do more
I don't know
research
enough
on
to
it.
defend him. But
I don't know enough to defend him, but I can defend that conversation.
Yeah.
And I was quite inspired by the 1 hour of him, and his slides weren't really working. Now, Amy said they're probably down at the bottom, but she was like, it's a good point. If they weren't working up there, there's a chance they weren't. I mean, that man, he really inspired the room, and it was called I am lonely when I'm with you. That was the conversation. I'm lonely when I'm with you. And it was all about loneliness. Adriana, oh my God, I have the chills thinking about how much I wish that you were there. He basically was talking about how we all as people are we think that we're connected, right? But yet we're not at all connected with our people, with our person. And it really was about relationships and your love and your relationship. He said, the number one question asked on Google that starts with will I, number one question ever asked on Google, will I find love? The number two question asked on Google, will I ever be enough?
Whoa.
Those are the two questions.
That's so...
Will I ever find love? So think
sad.
about how many people are curious if they're going to be enough and if they're going to find love. One of us on this couch thought that.
I thought it at some point.
You thought it at some point.
Yeah.
Kelly might think that's everybody.
Of course.
So it really is. I mean, it was just such a beautiful conversation. And he was giving us like tips, 5 points of a way to stay connected to someone that you love. I have notes. And in fact, I want to send them to you. Anyway, it was a really great conversation. I sent the notes to my sister. I'm really excited actually to talk to Jonas about it because I think like I learned a lot, you know, in friendships too and in other interpersonal relationships, but in love. And how do you put your phone down and connect and stay connected? And what are those intentional moments that, you know, when you get home at night, like how do you connect with the people that you love so that you're not sitting next to your person, but you're actually feeling super alone? You know what I mean? And that they're not checking in on you. And he was saying like checking in, asking like 5 questions. I know one of them was, are you anxious about anything this week? When's the last time you like asked Bill that?
So what's interesting is you saying this.
But I don't know the 5.
No, but it sounds a lot like what the conversation that Justin from Hinge and Anne Choquette had on the stage at South by.
I'm sure.
About like the loneliness as a cultural epidemic. Yes. And one of the things that he does with his team, which I actually really loved, his executive team, and I think I would like to start implementing it, is everyone goes around and says one thing that they're anxious about, one thing that they're hopeful for, and one thing they're grateful for.
I love that.
So, like, what are you really anxious about? What are you hopeful about? And what are you grateful for?
I
love
that.
You connect so much more with someone when you talk about those when you're vulnerable in that moment.
I think that this is a bigger conversation than any of us even realize, but we do realize it, and that's why we're having it. And I feel like we're at the forefront of it. Little Words Project as a brand.
I think we are. I think our product is definitely at the forefront of it because the thing is that over the past 20 years, we've seen the most technological advancements of any time ever. And we're all so much more connected while being so much more disconnected. We're all on the phone watching people on Instagram stories. We know what they're doing in their day-to-day. We see people commenting with one another. We understand their personalities from a distance. But we're not going out of our way to check in on them, to engage with them one-on-one and get more. That's why, like, I honestly do really like talking to the people in my DMs, as crazy as that sounds. Like, it's a lot and it's getting more and more, but I don't hate it because I feel like these people know me and get me and they're my friends. And
do you ever send voice notes? I do sometimes. If somebody,
I send voice notes all the time, especially if I like have to answer something like more verbosely.
Me too.
But I don't know. I just think that what everyone is talking about right now is that it's making people more and more lonely. We're the loneliest we've ever been as a society. And Little Words Project came in at the middle of that growth. It's been around for a decade now. But the reason I think we do so well as a brand is because people are yearning for connection. And we are yearning for one-on-one interpersonal communication, interpersonal relationships.
Yep.
We're just looking to relate better to one another.
Yes.
And what the product does is it gives that vehicle, that it's that little catalyst for that connection.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
for
it's
you to
it's a
share your
talking
story,
point.
for me to share my story, and
Exactly.
for us to connect on that story, whatever that word is, beat the odds. How is that story my story too?
Exactly. And I mean, the story could be silly. The story could be like, I have Hot Wife I'm wearing now. And Bill made that for
Hot
me
Wife,
because we were at the event and he had made one for Nicole that said Lifesaver. And I looked at him like with daggers in my eyes. It's just
I
like,
watched the whole thing. I watched the whole thing.
know you did not just show me the bracelet you made for Nicole.
For Nicole,
and Annie.
lifesaver. He was like, "What? She is our lifesaver." She's like, "Yeah, I know, but you're beating her a bracelet.
You're making
better
her a
make me
bracelet.
one."
You better make me one too. Like, I'm a third part of this tripod. Like, dang." And I'm like, but no, Nicole does deserve it. And I obviously love it. I was half roasting him because it's just giving like very
Funny.
like, funny.
No, it's funny.
And so then he sat down and he made me Hot Wife, which is hysterical. But anyway, that story, we just had a little conversation about something that I'm wearing on my body.
Yeah.
And that's why I love pieces that have a story. I love the product that we're creating.
Yep.
I love the conversation that we try to drive around it. And I love the concept of working with people like Anne Choquette, being invited into these rooms, this Hinge dinner, to these rooms where we're talking about the next wave of interpersonal connection and how can we as brands and business leaders drive that ship,
Yes.
steer that ship.
Yes.
And I'm just really proud to be a part of that conversation and being a product that has always authentically been all about that.
Yep. I love that. And you witness it. I witnessed it in my own way.
We all,
and I was like, wow. Yep. We're doing it. We're on the right track. You know, both of them, Anne Choquette, Jay Shetty, whoever else was talking at South by about that loneliness element of things, of life.
yeah.
It all goes back to what we're doing. And I was just like, yes.
Yeah, it was very, so on the one hand, it was a schmucky scenario.
Yeah, you know, there were schmuck elements, but
There were schmuck elements, but overall, I felt very validated in how we were moving.
Hell yeah.
I think all the notes we took and all the advice we got, even just from
Did you ever read my notes that I
inadvertent
texted you?
conversations. No, yes,
Oh.
but not in depth, and I want to go through them.
there
They
are
were
some good ones in there.
I haven't even gone through all mine as well, but yes, I love that. I love that you sent notes while you were at your conferences. I was listening to conversations just by being on the same like resting couch and people were talking about that. You know, I felt like I was a part of a fireside chat with these two really smart people, one from Johnson & Johnson and one from, I don't know, some AI platform that I didn't know the name of. And they were just talking about the importance of connection and, you know, how people relate to one another being everything. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is exactly what we talk about all the time. And here I am getting access to this incredible conversation just by being on the couch, you know? So it's just always having your ears open, listening, you know.
And doing things that are expansive for your mind. Like I really felt like even just a couple of panels made me smarter.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
true.
made me better and brought me back, gave me some gems. And
So this actually, I think we're going to throw out some of these questions, but this first question from Sarah, 57, what are things that you are both manifesting for yourselves in your current chapter of life? I feel like this conversation is a nice like segue for that, which is, for me at least, is I'm really trying to manifest this next phase of this business and manifest a world where this product really is a catalyst for connection and kindness around the world. And I think that it can be. I think it's a perfect foundational little yummy adorable item that just stands the test of time and is perfectly thoughtful and easy and simple and sweet and pretty and fits with everything. Like I know I'm like geeking out over my own product in the weirdest way, but it is just so how I feel about it. Like I really love them and I feel naked without them. And I know that there's so many of you who agree and have the same feeling and experience with the product. But imagine if we could get everybody to understand that and to be a part of it too. And to, you know, when you see a white letter, you're thinking Little Words Project. You're thinking of a little word and you're thinking of how you can impact someone and affect someone's life in a positive way and change their day by simply passing it on. You're not thinking Plur and you're not thinking Taylor. And there's nothing wrong with either of those communities. In many ways, they are our communities too. Yes, plur bracelets are meant to be passed along at music concerts, and it's meant to bring good vibes. That's exactly what we're about.
Yeah.
I promise I didn't take the idea. I promise I didn't even know about it. Okay? I got it from church, for God's sakes. Oh, which is how I pivoted, by the way, in the conversation.
Did you?
With the person. I was like, well, if I must tell you, I got it from church. Okay? I wasn't really trying to say that here. I love church, but like,
it was in my youth group.
Right, I'm
okay?
with the founder of Hinge. I came up with this in my youth group. You know, like, it's just, thank you for sending me down that path. But anyway, I digress.
It's funny. Yeah.
Again, nothing wrong with either of those communities. They both impact their direct communities in incredible ways, and they're both about kindness and spreading positivity. And I just am looking forward to a day where our brand is as strong, as the Taylor Swift brand, as strong as
like this
an entire EDM community brand, because ultimately that brand awareness is what's going to help us move the needle and get people to be excited about passing a product, passing something that they paid for on. Because in doing so, you're changing not only their day, but your own. And you're building your self-esteem and you're building your confidence as a result. And then you feel like you can be kind again. And the cycle continues.
Addie, you've been having some gems. I almost am pissed because you've had so many gems
that
I hope when we have a live audience, we're going to have more gems because we want them all to be really excited. So just save a couple of those gems. Though that was great.
No.
So true.
I
don't even remember the question because I don't think I have a gem.
Manifesting. No, you do. What are the things I'm manifesting that this brand goes the distance. I'm really manifesting.
You know what I'm going to say.
Love.
Yes.
Happiness. Forever after.
I'm manifesting that I can do this right. My relationship. And I could manifest about work too, but you just, nailed it. Let me talk about a relationship because it's a little different than that.
You should.
But I want to manifest that I can do it.
Yes.
That I can freaking do it. That I am not going to have old habits. That I'm not going to have the things, that I'm not.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
What? Say it. Just say it.
What I wrote down before.
Computer. What is it?
CPTSD. That's what you have.
CPTSD.
Complex PTSD. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And what it is, I was watching the show called The Program on Netflix. It's a documentary about kids in these reform schools.
Wait, I started it on the plane yesterday.
Excellent.
Does it get better?
Very.
The first 10 minutes I fell asleep by accident.
Well, that's because you were tired. It was 1 a.m. So next time, watch it.
Is it a real documentary?
It's a real documentary.
Holy
it's about
shit. I thought maybe it was like a scripted, but seems like a documentary.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it kind of gives the vibes. Yeah.
The beginning was giving scripted. I was like, this is cool.
She's a cool, artisty type of person.
Cool.
Yeah. But anyway,
holy shit.
It's called The Program. It's worth watching. But they talk about complex PTSD being it's PTSD that isn't just like you had one traumatic event and now you have flashbacks to it. It's a elongated trauma. It comes from a long period of time of feeling like you are stuck in a situation that you're not going to be able to get yourself out of. You don't see a way out. And you believe that this is just what it is.
Ooh.
And that feels like potentially a little bit of what you went through growing up.
Yes, into
what
relationships.
you went through when it comes to relationships. Like you have had a constant sense of dread.
Right.
And it has led to you now having a tough time. And the number one thing that this affects in the person's future life is how they navigate relationships, because trust is gone. And I'm like, oh my God.
Holy shit.
My Mariah meter was going off. And I was like, this is what she deals with. And that's what I wrote down because I wanted to bring that up. And that's so funny that we came full circle. But I don't blame you for feeling like a little bit afraid of whether or not you can. Yeah. Because you've been proven and you have found proof over the past 30 years that you can't. And so you have to rewire and refire so many things in your brain.
Everything. All my brain waves every second are like, do this differently, do this differently. Don't do that. Don't say that.
And it's hard.
And by the way, for anybody out there who's like, is she talking about cheating only or what? Because I always lived in this mindset that relationships really can only fail because somebody's cheating on you or they don't they like somebody else.
Yeah.
In this case, in my current relationship, I have not, and this is so honest, Adriana, and I can't even believe it that it's true. I have yet to think or wonder or worry about another girl.
Good.
Since we started talking, he's made it clear that he's not even followed a girl on Instagram since we started talking. He's so respectful. It's insane. So it has nothing to do with other people. And that I dealt with for years.
Yeah.
Is this guy following girls? Is he being disrespectful? Is he liking a ton of pictures of girls in bathing suits? Whatever it might be that would make me feel anxious. I don't have that anxiety. But it's the anxiety of, can I stand the test of time and be a good girlfriend and not have those moments, those insecurities, those questions, those trust issues? They come up and
But it's not even trust issues, I don't think, is what you're trying to explain as much as...
Are you going to stay?
Yeah, it's more so just like...
Trust of, am I going to be abandoned? Will love last? Is love real? Should I get married?
I think it's more that. I think it's more, is love real? You're
It's
more afraid of
I'm afraid
what
of myself.
your subconscious is doing to self-sabotage the
Yes.
relationship, because you're not confident that at some point in time you will end up in that forever relationship.
Yes, and
I think it's not possible.
And I'm not confident that somebody stays the whole time. So as you start to nitpick, or as you start to think this or think that, they're going to leave. So the second I even think I might nitpick, I'm like, well, if I even say this, he's going to leave. Like, it's just this like insane cycle, you know? And somebody, like, he sent me a meme today, and it was just like a little like butterfly flying in the air. And it said, send this to the prettiest girl you know. No one's ever done that.
Right.
Isn't that so sad? That is literally the first time anyone's ever sent me a meme like that. I be seeing them all the time. I be seeing all those memes. Kelly sends me memes like that, you know?
So not the first time.
No, but like from a friend. But like no man, and that's just, it's so sad. But a lot of us are dealing with that. Single women are constantly dealing with like nobody's ever validating them, and it's not even partners. It's in those talking stages we're not getting the validation enough, and then you become a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and you're not getting validated enough. And like I require validation, I really do, and I have a boyfriend that gives it.
Thank
he
God.
just gives it. He's like, I can't wait to FaceTime tomorrow night and watch the Love is Blind reunion and have date night. Good morning. Can't wait for date night tonight.
Yeah.
He's just so locked in.
So to that end,
yeah.
you need to allow that to make you feel safe.
Yes.
And you need to start to rewrite the narrative in your head that will just go away one day. And you need to not nitpick as a form of self-sabotage, because what you're doing is trying to prove the point that you believe in your heart of hearts, which is that you will end up alone.
Right.
And that no one will be there for you. That's what you really believe, truly. And so everything that happens, you're always trying to prove yourself right, because we want to prove ourselves right as people. We always want to be right. Your brain is trying to prove that right by finding things wrong, by nitpicking certain situations, by maybe in some cases unconsciously pushing people away.
Yes.
Because it would feel right. It would make more sense
for it not to work.
If it just didn't work.
Oh my God, it would make so much more sense.
And
if I just said I'm being naggy and he said you're right. And he said, yeah, I don't have time for this, actually. You're right. This is too hard. And I'm like, almost told you.
Yeah, you would almost feel better if that was the reality. Because
it's harder to accept that it's still happening.
Yeah.
It's harder to accept that he's still here.
Okay, well,
start
accepting it.
So I want to manifest that I can accept that he is here.
He's here. He's not going anywhere. This relationship will go the distance.
It will go the distance.
And you need to allow it to. Just let it happen. Let yourself have your little low moments. But you are annoying as fuck to me.
Annoying.
But I love you still. And I'm not going anywhere. You can annoy me until my dying day. And the love I have for you and the feeling I feel about you and the value you bring to my life is always outweighing how much you annoy me.
That's such a beautiful point, Addie. No, it's so true.
But that's the point. You can be yourself.
Yes.
People will stay. I know I'm not married to you, but I would only assume that
if I don't marry someone else, it's going to have to be
like
you.
If we were, if I can only assume that you're only bringing more of, the only difference between our relationship and another relationship is that he gets more of you and he physically is intimate with you
body?
And sees like you're providing more value to his life than you can provide to mine. But to him, you're providing even more value.
Yeah.
Like, there's no,
he wins.
You get what I'm saying? Like, not that he wins, but like, I wouldn't leave you if I were him.
Thank you.
As you are.
If I get any weirder,
If
I become any more nutty,
be your truest self and not the self that lives in fear and loses her shit. Because when you're in fear and you start going nuts,
just the nutsos go everywhere.
No,
were those you moving nuts around?
That was you. Yeah, it was being a squirrel, just like nuttiness everywhere,
hoarding them.
You were just a fucking nutcase sometimes.
Yeah. A squirrel hoarding the nuts.
This is going south, but you know what I'm saying.
It's great. This was great.
You get what I'm saying.
Call it.
No, but you get what I'm saying.
100%.
I'm not calling you crazy.
No, I know you're not. Do you have chapstick, though? Because what's crazy is how dry my lips feel. Have you ever looked like this before? Thank you, Addie. It's a beautiful bag.
You're welcome. It's Kuyana.
New?
I got Tatcha. I
Tatcha.
got Ami Cole.
Tatcha for sure. I need to
I
just
got
put that buttery water.
Augustine Bader.
Give me that buttery circle.
I got Arbonne.
Arbonne? That is such a throwback.
I know it's good though. It's a nice soft.
I don't want it. I want the
It's a soft
circle.
thing. I've got Clay de Poe.
This is insane.
Hold on. You want to see if I know Mariah? I got chapstick.
Give me that.
Hold on.
Give me that
Let's
black
see what
stick.
let's see what she goes. Do you see this? I've got a colorful Tatcha just in case. That's a good one. Same exact vibe. I've got Merit. Y'all think I'm a lip care junkie or nah? And I've got Westman Atelier. A little bit of a color in that one.
Okay, I'm going to just do chapstick with a blend of Tatcha. Just give me the chapstick. No. Please give me the chapstick.
No.
Tatcha then.
Oh, a little color on the top. I like it. I'm gonna do.
Oh, this one has color? Actual?
I'm gonna do this Arbonne. It's really
Purple.
good. It's a lip oil, and like it gives you this. Hold on. Oh my God, is it good? Does it sound good though?
Does
oh my
it?
God, Kelly just heard it in the head.
In a hair horn. All right, well,
Something
anyway.
that matters to me is how someone puts on a lip gloss.
Me too. Thank
Like-
you, everybody.
You
Hey.
could ruin that experience. You could ruin it
Next time you guys hear from us,
if you don't do it.
we're
right.
going to be in our...
Dude, I like the color.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Next time you hear from us, we're going to be live recording in our King of Prussia store. So I'm excited for that.
You guys, I also kind of can't believe it. Like, I can believe it, but it's kind of crazy. Like, we had to open up more seats.
Are we going to put our sign behind it?
Granted, we didn't sell tickets, which is classic. It's so classic glow through it.
Hey, that was Bill's idea.
Yeah, because because we're schmucks.
Yeah, Bill was like, no, we got to make it free, you guys.
Yeah, we gotta
were
make it
all
free,
like,
make
are you
sure
sure? He's
people
like,
wanna
no,
come."
no, free. I'm like, okay.
No, we played ourselves there. But next time.
They're $25. Let's
Yeah,
just
but next time you guys will
donate $25.
This is a
Sell
fun,
me.
This is a fun first freebie. I had no eyes on that. You know I would have charged y'all. Because at the end of the day,
If you're
this
coming,
is-
Venmo me.
It's a business. We're trying to run a business here.
$50.
I love you. Don't Venmo anybody.
Venmo
Don't
me 50 if you
No,
have a
we
heart.
want to do this.
If you have a heart, Venmo me $50. That's all I'm going to say.
No, we want to do this with you.
The other day when never mind.
Yeah, you can't start a whole nother story.
Okay,
We were just
okay.
ending it really
Okay,
well.
good job, guys.
Okay, good job, everybody.
Good job, Addie.
See you on Wednesday at King of Prussia.
Wow. See you there.
See you there. Thanks for tuning in.
Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Glow Through It Podcast.
And while you're at it, give Little Words Project a follow too. See you next time.